Their father was not there to cheer his sons on. Donald Trump not showing up to watch his kids testify in a fraud trial is the Trump family version of not showing up for their school play. Don Jr. went first today and took a page from Dad's book of gripes.
Before even having a day in court, I'm apparently guilty of fraud for relying on my accountant to do, wait for it, accounting.
Here's the thing. Never wait for anyone who says, wait for it. Just leave immediately. You go, wait for it. No, I'm not waiting for it.
Don Jr. wasted no time making a scene today, channeling his father's signature style with an impassioned rant before even stepping foot in court. Apparently, I'm guilty of fraud for, get this, trusting my accountants to do accounting. Listen, anyone who says get this like it's some grand revelation is not to be trusted. Just turn around and walk away. Wait for it. Nope, I refuse to wait, and neither should you.
Just electric. The MAGA movement is alive with my father. The reception we received with my father. Dana White said it was the most incredible cheer with my father of someone walking into the arena in his history of doing it. An insanely awesome evening with my father.
He's gonna miss that guy so much.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump is coming apart at the seams. And for once, it's not because of a typo-riddled Truth Social post. Jimmy Kimmel seized the moment, delivering a takedown so ruthless that even Trump's comb-over might be looking for an escape route. Eric looks dazed. Don Jr. is operating at espresso overdose levels. And Trump? Well, let's just say Mar-a-Lago's remote control might not survive the night. So, what is your job exactly? I mean, seriously, besides yelling at your laptop, what is it that you do for a living? What do you write on your tax return, son? Donald Trump Jr. is the only guy in America who claims himself as a dependent. Fox News.
Give me a personal read, if you don't mind, Eric, what you want the audience to understand about how your father processed what happened to him and what he communicated to your kids about what they saw and how it affected him.
Yeah, well, he called me from the hospital. I think that was the first phone call that he made, and obviously let me know he was okay. And it was a kick to the stomach, just to say the least, when you're seeing that. I mean, Chris, you didn't know. Obviously, you saw blood coming out of his face, but you heard multiple shots. You didn't know if he took shots to the torso. You didn't know where else he was hit. You didn't know if any of those agents were.
Kimmel say that sent the Trump clan into absolute turmoil? Why is Trump in full-blown meltdown mode? And honestly, does Don Jr. even blink anymore? Stick around. This roast was so sharp, even Fox News might struggle to clean up the damage. Then there's Don Jr. on social media again, flooding his timeline with breathless enthusiasm. An unforgettable night in Miami with my father. Just electric. The MAGA movement is thriving with my father. The crowd's energy with my father. Off the charts. Dana White said it was the loudest reaction in UFC history. With my father. Unreal night. With my father. Somebody check on Don Jr. Separation anxiety is real. Before we continue, tap that like button and subscribe because this is one you won't want to miss.
Today, Donald Trump's sons took the stand in the $250 million fraud case against their family business today. There they are, the Stinklevoss twins, rolling into the courthouse. Looking pretty cool. I haven't seen a more likable set of brothers on trial since the Menendez boys. I don't know about you. It's quite a day, and say what you want about these guys. The camera loved.
Meanwhile, Kimmel is grinning like a man who just hit the comedy jackpot. Let's be honest, he barely has to try. The Trump family practically hands him late-night material on a silver platter. For years, Kimmel has turned their every blunder into must-watch television. Trump whines, Don Jr. rants like a malfunctioning chatbot, and Eric is just sort of present. And seriously, what is his actual job? Other than aggressively refreshing his Twitter feed, what does he even do? What does he list on his tax returns?
Paul, your father's been shot. I saw the picture, the sort of defiant, fist pump, after 5 seconds after getting shot. And, I guess we live in an era where everyone sort of thinks they're a badass because they're on the internet and not really up front. But he just got shot and he comes out, sort of defiant, ready to fight for our country. And I just said, hey, you're the biggest badass I've ever met. And I probably could not have been legitimately more proud ever, as a son, to have that kind of approach. Because again, everyone thinks they're going to act that way.
Donald Trump Jr. may be the only adult in America still writing down dependent on official paperwork. Fox News. Eric, give us a personal perspective. How did your father react to all this? What did he tell the family? Eric, it was the first call he made. He assured me he was okay, but man, it was a gut punch seeing that. Chris, you saw the blood, you heard the shots. In that moment, you had no idea where else he might have been hit if the agents were okay. It was terrifying.
Side of humanity's coin, we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment, he said his father is an artist.
Kimmel? He just keeps firing off jokes, barely keeping up with his own punchlines as he goes after the Trump sons. They may have inherited their father's self-confidence, but none of his, let's call it distinct vocabulary. The burns are hitting harder than an unpaid contractor's lawsuit. Don Jr., the self-proclaimed philosopher of Instagram politics, took the stand today, once again proving that his entire brand is built on posting shaky videos where he either looks severely jet-lagged or like he just lost a fight with a can of Monster Energy. Both Trump sons had their moment in the courtroom spotlight today for their family's $250 million fraud trial. And there they are, the discount Winklevoss twins, striding into court, looking, well, uneasy. Honestly, the last time two brothers looked this uncomfortable in a courtroom, it was the Menendez trial. What a spectacle. An all-caps meltdown on Truth Social? Another unhinged rally rant about failing Jimmy Kimmel? Maybe even a brand new Trump-branded comedy special where the only joke is, well, him? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. The internet will be watching and laughing. Trump threatening to sue Jimmy Kimmel for hurting his feelings isn't even a stretch. Maybe he cries defamation. Maybe he calls it election interference. Or maybe he dials it up to full conspiracy mode and accuses Kimmel of secretly working for the deep state. The options are limitless, but one thing's for sure. His lawyers will be facepalming before the ink even dries. Even if he doesn't go full lawsuit mode, an off-the-rails rally response is basically inevitable. Just picture it. A sweaty Trump stomping back and forth on stage, jabbing his finger at some invisible enemy. This guy, Kimmel. Kibble in bits, I call him. Nobody watches. No talent. Bad ratings the worst. People tell me, sir, he's failing, and I say, I know. It won't stop there. He'll probably claim Kimmel's jokes were personally orchestrated by Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and, why not, the ghost of John McCain. He won't be able to resist making it weirdly personal either. Expect a bizarre tangent about leaf-blowing regulations, a humble brag about stiffing a contractor, and, for the 15th time, an angry rant about Kimmel roasting him at the Oscars. At this point, the Trump versus late-night feud isn't even a battle. He thinks he's taking on Hollywood elites, but in reality, he's just providing an endless highlight reel for late-night monologues. Every unhinged post, every stage meltdown, every desperate attempt at a comeback, he's basically writing the jokes for them. Kimmel, Colbert, the whole crew, they barely have to lift a finger. Just roll the clip, toss in a punchline, and let Trump's absurdity do the heavy lifting. And that's why humor works so well against him. He can dodge fact checks, twist the truth, and rile up his base with wild conspiracies. But the one thing he cannot handle? Being laughed at. So, will Trump retaliate? Of course. But will it help him? Not a chance. He'll fume, he'll rage, he'll double down. But all he's really doing is setting up the next round of jokes. And Kimmel, he's already got the next punchline locked and loaded.